iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. So let's take a look at what we have. We will discuss some news. We will discuss some mining the box scores for Fantasy Gold. We are into week 13. You got to get it done. I was looking at some of my teams here, and I'm like, wow, it is all coming down to this week. I've got about 4 main event teams that could all make the playoffs or miss the playoffs this week. No pressure. Come on, Marcus Mariota. Do something for me. Got him like 3 leagues. All right, some news here. Juju Smith-Schuster, chance to play, but they're playing on Monday night. But I don't see it. I don't see him playing this week. I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's too risky. If I'm the Steelers, I have Martavis Bryant, I have Antonio Brown. I go with that because I know I'm making a deep run in the playoffs, and I don't need to move Smith-Schuster in unless he's 100% healthy. So he's not playing unless he's right. Would I play him even if he's right? Probably not. I don't really like the matchup against the Bengals. The Bengals are kind of stingy against opposing pass defenses. So I don't really love this game. This is not the week that I want to have Ben Roethlisberger. I just being honest with you. Ben on the road in this game, this is when you hear the whole Ben sucks on the road. They're probably talking about this game. All right, so I'm just throwing it out there for you. I'm just trying. Bengals against wide receiver, second best in football after the Jaguars. So I'm not buying in on Juju Smith-Schuster this week, okay? Let's see. Blaine Gabbert, Bruce Arians like, hey, it's possible he could be our quarterback next season. Look, I think Blaine Gabbert is a very good backup and a starter when you need him in a pinch. I don't think he's a guy I'm going to the mattresses with. Just don't think so. Don't think he's a guy I'm going to the mattresses with. Todd Bowles basically says that Josh McCown is a quarterback. You think? It's been great. Can't blame him for losing. Can't blame Josh McCown for losing. Kenyon Drake is going to be the lead back because Damian Williams is hurt with a dislocated shoulder. And Sonoris Perry had a concussion. So I think they're going to bring up De'Veon Smith. I don't expect much. I expect this to be a Drake game. If you can beat the Broncos, 2 ways. 1, a running back. 2, the tight end. Orange Julius Thomas. Just saying, he's a guy of mine this week. I think he could be sneaky. And then finally with news here, Kyle Shanahan says that he will name his starting quarterback on Wednesday. I just don't know why you wouldn't start Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know why you wouldn't start him unless you don't want to win. And it's possible. So I'm just saying, I think that he should be the starter. I mean, C.J. Beathard got banged up, and I don't know how he's going to practice on Wednesday. How's he going to practice? So let's just call it what it is. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to start. All right, last night's game, Baltimore against the Texans here. It was a 39. I think the over-under was 38. So Flacco is disgusting. I have to take back everything I said about Joe Flacco. I thought this was a week that he would throw the ball because nobody runs against Houston. Flacco, 141 yards and no touchdowns. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. Alex Collins did look good. I mean, they ran the ball well. I have to say, I got to give Baltimore credit. They ran the ball well and played great defense. They did. But that being said, the Texans lost this game because Tom Savage is not a good quarterback. Made some his 2 interceptions were terrible. Just ask yourself this question. If they had Deshaun Watson, were they losing that game? Not a chance. By the way, I'm sure we all have a Deshaun Watson story. Here's mine. I'll throw it out there to you. There was a league in the main event where my team with Medic Bill was just we just hit the top 20. We just hit the top 20 overall with Watson and Hopkins, and we had Fuller. And the truth is, going into this last week, We are 14 points ahead of the overall points. Okay? If we had Deshaun Watson, dude, we'd be 150 points ahead. This league would be over. That's how good Deshaun Watson was. Seriously. You take away the junk we've had at quarterback and you add in Deshaun Watson, I guarantee you it's another 100 points. Because we've had Marcus Mariota, we've had guys who stink. And I'm telling you, as clear as it is, that if we'd had Deshaun Watson, we'd be winning by 100 points. And I say that for the Texans. 4-7, this team would be 7-4. That's how good he was. Hopefully he is again. All right, mine in the box scores for Fantasy Gold. By the way, Braxton Miller, 6 targets, 5 receptions. Bruce Ellington had more targets, but didn't have the reception. CJ Fedorowicz, 8 targets. I'm glad to see that. He's back in the offense. He's about a 5 to 10 point a week player. Not very good, but won't kill you. Won't kill you. For Baltimore, I'm just going to mention that Mike Wallace had 11 targets. I mean, that's a big number. Jeremy Maclin had 5. Wallace, 11 targets is a very big number. They ran the ball 31 times. Alex Collins did it 16 times. Danny Woodhead only saw 4 carries. Buck Allen, 5. So there you have it if you're worried about what was going on there. All right, for Pittsburgh, here's why you don't need to see Juju. Ready? Antonio Brown had 12 targets. Le'Veon Bell had 14 targets. Jesse James had 4, and Martavis Bryant had 6. Eli Rogers had 7. I take out Juju. I put in Juju. I take out Bryant. It's still the same thing, so I don't need Juju. I want Juju, but I still think I could beat the Bengals without Juju. Right? For Green Bay, did you know that Jordy Nelson had 5 targets? Devontae Adams had 9. I think Jordy Nelson's droppable. I hate to say it, but if I was desperate and I needed a player, and there was a guy out there who I thought could help me win, and to pick him up, I needed to drop Jordy Nelson. Bye-bye. See you, Jordy. I know that sounds crazy, but that's true. That's true to me. I don't think they're very good. I mean, I don't think they're very good at all. So I'm just throwing that out there. Jordy Nelson's done nothing with Brett Hundley at quarterback. All right, the Rams. So first of all, I think Todd Gurley's going to get more of the football. He only had 17 carries last week, but he did have he did have 4 receptions on 7 targets. So he touched the ball 21 times, but I think he's going to run the ball 20 times this week. I think if Sean McVay is going back looking at the film, I think he's going to say, we could have run it a little bit more with Gurley. But I don't want them to run it too much with Gurley because, hey, they're going to go deep in the playoffs, the Rams. So don't burn this guy out. But Cooper Kupp looks sensational. Sammy Watkins looks sensational. Josh Reynolds had 6 targets with Robert Woods gone. For New Orleans, Kamara, 6 targets. Thomas, 8. Ted Ginn Jr., 11. 7 for 71. Willie Snead had a target. Ted Ginn did well on the road. I was surprised, but he did very well. It's good to see that. Arizona against Jacksonville. Here's the big number for me. Now, I know Marquise Lee is there. I get that. 100% get that. But Marquise Lee only had 2 targets, and D.D. Westbrook had 10. Keelan Cole had 7. 17 targets. Here's the deal. Even though Patrick Peterson Roto is playing him, you still have to target Marquise Lee. You have to go to him. For Arizona, Larry Fitzgerald had 8. Ricky Seals-Jones had 6 targets, guys. 6. I don't know what that means, but maybe he doesn't suck. I think you're going to see a little bit more of DJ Foster as it goes on. I think DJ Foster is very sneaky. Played at Arizona State, had really good numbers there. Why can't he be their 3rd down back of the future? Who needs Kerwin Williams when you have DJ Foster? I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know whether he's worth anything this year, but I think next year he's interesting to me. All right, I can't even talk about the Denver Broncos anymore. I just can't. Maybe with Trevor Siemian back, maybe Demaryius Thomas looks better. Maybe. I don't know. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. It's terrible. But for Oakland, I'm worried about Michael Crabtree, who is, benched for 2 games, suspended for 2 games. Is Patterson going to step up? Is Johnny Holton going to step up? Is Seth Roberts going to step up? Will they run the ball more with Washington, Richard, and Marshawn Lynch? I don't know. The Raiders' next 2 games are against the Giants and the Chiefs. I don't think they're going to have to do that much to win, at least against the Giants. They should be able to win that game with Carr throwing about 25 times. I see that. That seems to make sense to me. All right, Seattle and the 49ers. Marquise Goodwin had 6 targets, but did you know Carlos Hyde had 13 targets? 13 targets. Do you remember there was a time in the earlier of the year where like, oh, Carlos Hyde's going to lose his job? Psh, I don't think so. I think Carlos Hyde has cemented his job. Matt Bryant has done nothing. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jimmy Garoppolo does with this team. I think he's only going to make this team better. George Kittle had 2 targets. I think George Kittle will do better. Why? Jimmy Garoppolo knows how to throw the ball to the tight end. He learned it in New England. Watch that. He knows how to throw to Trent Taylor. He learned that in New England. Watch that. Jimmy Garoppolo is a very good quarterback. I've always loved this dude. Really do. He just needs some weapons in San Francisco. For Seattle, Doug Baldwin, if you look at it, only had 3 targets. Don't worry. Don't panic. I just don't think they were winning 14-6. They were always up in this game. And when they were up, they didn't need to go to Baldwin. So I don't think that's a reflection of Doug Baldwin as much as it's a statement of when we were winning, we didn't need to throw the ball that much. So that may not be happening this week against the Eagles. This may be a Doug Baldwin week, so don't panic. The Titans against the Colts. What can I say about this game except Derrick Henry, listen to this. 13 carries for 79 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. DeMarco Murray, 12 carries, 9 yards, 0.8 yards per carry. Boy, who should be the running back? Let me see. I'm thinking it's Derrick Henry, but they don't give him the football enough. Yeah, they just have to give Derrick Henry the football more. He's a really good player. And he's the guy, every year I'm going to draft Derrick Henry in the 7th round. And one of these years, he's going to be the number 1 running back. And then when he is, I'm going to win the league. So I'm just waiting. Frank Gore had 17 carries in this one for the Colts. Marlon Mack had 4. Marlon Mack had 2 receptions. I can't trust Marlon Mack as much as I want to. And I'd say, well, the Colts are out of it. They'll give it to Marlon Mack. I don't feel that way. So, if he's out there in your league, I'm not interested. There's news that Cam Newton may have a sore thumb, which is why he was inaccurate. He's inaccurate because he sucks. Don't believe that. Devin Funchess is his only good target as a receiver, and Christian McCaffrey is an amazing player. Really. Christian McCaffrey, Roto, amazing player. I love watching him. I wish he ran the ball more. But I guess they don't want to abuse him. But he's been sensational. For the Jets, by the way, so Matt Forte played, he had 10 rushes. Bilal Powell had 9, Elijah McGuire 5. Bilal Powell had 1 reception, McGuire had 1, Forte had 0. Why are you not throwing the ball more to Bilal Powell? Why do I need to see Elijah McGuire? It's crazy. So I don't know. Bilal Powell's playing against the Chiefs. That's just disgusting. I may go with Derrick Henry this week. That's my big dilemma. Or I'll just find somebody in the waiver wire. That's what I'll do. I'll find somebody in the waiver wire better than these 2 chumps. Okay, so let's see. Some more games here. Miami against New England. So, James White. Let's just talk about him for a second. He had 3 carries for 13 yards, 1 reception. Should you hold him or dump him? Dump him. Deion Lewis had 15 carries. Burkhead had 13 carries. Burkhead had 2 targets. Deion Lewis had 2 targets. Where's there room for James White? Now, there may be a James White game. Maybe he has 1 good game, but over the next 5 weeks, I don't see it. 13, 14, 15, next 4 games, I don't see it. Maybe against Pittsburgh? But you know how Bill Belichick rolls. He'll save him for 1 big game. He'll save James White until the game against Pittsburgh when he goes for like 8 for 85. Crazy, right? For Miami, Jarvis Landry had 9 targets. Devontae Parker had 3. So pay attention who the quarterback is. If it's Jay Cutler, he will throw to Devontae Parker. If it's not, you better be benching Devontae Parker. Stinks. I miscalculated on that one. So did many of us. All right, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Doug Martin, please. You're not allowed to say that name. Watch for Jacquizz Rodgers. Watch for Peyton Barber this week. Barber's more of the bigger guy who can get the touchdowns by the goal line. He had 2 last week. If you're in a standard league, I'd pick up Peyton Barber. If you're in a league that's PPR, I would lean towards Charles Sims. I would lean towards Jarquiz Rogers. They do play. All right, so I just don't know about Doug Martin, but I don't need to see him. But they have the Packers this week, then the Lions and the Falcons. So they could have some. There could be some opportunities abound. For Atlanta, it's Julio Jones and Sanu. That's who you got. And Tevin Coleman had 19 carries. Teron Ward had 7. As long as Devonta Freeman's out, Teron Ward will see 5 to 10 carries a week. He will see that. All right, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Josh Gordon is expected to play this week. So here's what you have to do. Get rid of Britt, Njoku, DeValve, Higgins. Just throw all those guys out. You're looking at Coleman, Gordon, Duke, Crowell. That's it. That's all they're going to throw to. So I think that Gordon will go like 4 for 60 this week. Coleman maybe about 5 for 80. I'm interested to see what the Browns do with their with all their weapons there. They have all their weapons now. All right, for Cincinnati, A.J. Green only had 8 targets. He plays the Steelers next week. That's a very interesting matchup. Can he take advantage like Devontae Adams did? I'm not sure. I don't think anybody else there can. But Joe Mixon better run well. I mean, Joe Mixon touched the ball 26 times this week. 26 times. That's a big, big number. All right, for Buffalo, LaShawn McCoy's getting the football. You know that. He touched it 26 times. But Travaris Cadet had 6 carries and 3 receptions. Nothing wrong with that if Mike Tolbert is out. That's a $1 sneaky guy who doesn't suck. Just throwing it out there for you. Maybe he makes a play, maybe he doesn't, but he could be worth 8 points a week. Maybe better than Tariq Cohen. Guy sucks. He doesn't suck, actually. John Fox sucks. All right, for Kansas City, Travis Kelce, 4 targets. Albert Wilson had 7 targets. Kelce had 4. Enough said. Kareem Hunt had 1. Enough said. You can't win when Travis Kelce and Kareem Hunt have 5 targets. And Demarcus Robinson has 4, Charkandrick West has 4, and Albert Wilson have 7. This is why you lose. This is not hard. This is easy. Get myself upset. All right, for Chicago, Dontrell Inman, 9 targets. That's a big number, guys. Big number. He's their number 1 guy. So I guess if you're going to ever use, the Bears against another team. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you play the 49ers and you want to have a guy on the other team, it would be Dontrell Inman. I really wouldn't do that with this team, but you know what I'm saying. For Philadelphia, LeGarrette Blount, 15 carries. Corey Clement, 4 carries. Jay Ajayi, 5. Clement was out there and had a reception. I like him on 3rd downs. He seemed to be out there then. Ajayi just don't trust. I like him, but I don't trust him. Could he have a touchdown every week? Sure. Then again, he could do nothing. I just don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you, Austin Eckler's turned out to be a star. Really has. I'm playing him next week when I need him. I'll tell you that right now. I'm playing him way more than I thought I would at this point of the season. All right, for Minnesota, just one comment here. Jerick McKinnon, when they're losing, he's going to be out there. When they're winning, it's Latavius Murray. Okay? And one more note from a Thursday game, Samaje Perine. Samaje Perine had 27 touches of the football. I think he gets 75% touches moving forward. You'll see Marshall get some, but I really think Perine, he was the guy to pick at the end of the year. And I'm glad I have him on a couple of teams. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I want to encourage you to go to scoutdfs.com right now. Sign up. Be part of what we're doing at Scout. It is a terrific site. Optimizers, Scout scores, there to help you. Also, scoutfantasy.com. It's not too late. You get half off your first month. Enter the promo code ROTO2017. You come in right now. We'll try to get you to the finish line. Last 3 weeks. Let us help you. All right, guys. Back for Waiver Wire Wednesday. Wishing you a great day. Be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!